Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Walt Disney World Dining review. Today, I'll be talking about a recent experience that I had at Topolino's Terrace for dinner. So, let's get started. For those of you that don't know, Topolino's Terrace is located on the top floor of Disney's Riviera resort, and it's kind of themed to the Riviera regions of France and Italy kind of combined into one location. It's kind of a unique location in that they have a character breakfast offered, as well as a signature experience for dinner. So, for this particular review, I focused on the dinner. I would definitely like to try the breakfast though at some point, because I've heard it's pretty good. So first of all, this restaurant was a little hard to find. This is my first time being in the Riviera Resort, and I expected the elevator to be right off the lobby. It ended up being down one of the hallways leading to guest rooms, so we ended up having to ask somebody as well to point us in the right direction. But outside the elevator, there was a little sign with a QR code for the virtual check-in, which you could then scan and then hop on the elevator to go up to the top floor, and then that kind of entered out at the restaurant. There was also a check-in desk there, and the cast members there were also very helpful to check you in if you had not checked in already on your phone. As far as the overall feel of the restaurant, I personally loved it. A lot of windows, so a lot of natural light coming in, and several sweeping views of Walt Disney World property. There's a little patio you can sit outside on, and just enjoy the views. You can see Animal Kingdom with Expedition Everest in the distance. You can see Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge off in the distance. Caribbean Beach Resort is right next door. And then you can see the Swan and Dolphin Resort, and as well as some of the pavilions of the World Showcase, like the American Adventure Pavilion for sure you could see. And while these views were quite fantastic, I think for a signature restaurant, you're paying more for the views than the food, because the food was not, in my opinion, not exceptional compared to other signature restaurants that are on Walt Disney World property, but these views were pretty great. So as far as service, our server here was Mike, and he was another great server that we had. Definitely another 10 out of 10 that we would give for service. He was great with recommendations, kind of walking us through the menu, and kind of walking us through the QR code menu as well. And he even started our meal with a little bit of trivia. So he asked us, what does Topolino mean in the name Topolino's Terrace? So Topolino is actually the Italian name for Mickey Mouse. So now you know, a little fun fact, a little bit of trivia, and it was a great way to start the meal. So the drink menu here was a little bit different in that we were not familiar with all the ingredients on the drink list. So a lot of things we were unsure of, so we were just kind of ordering the drinks blind. My mom ended up getting a French Rose, which was Grey Goose lemon vodka, cream of grapefruit liqueur, agave, lemon, and soda water. And this drink was very fruity and very refreshing. Definitely recommend getting this one if you're kind of unsure about the menu, because this one is very sweet and fruity, and it was overall a very good drink. The one that my dad got was the Spirited Seasonal Cocktail, and this had bourbon, cognac, orange reduction, and bitters. And it was very similar to just a traditional old-fashioned, which I really liked that. I liked the flavors in that one. I actually ended up switching my drink for his, because I did not like the one I ordered at all. I got the Boulevardier, which was bourbon, Campari, and vermouth. And I am not really a martini person. I'm more of a bourbon person. But I figured I would branch out, try something a little bit different. And I've learned that I am not a fan of vermouth. I did not like the aftertaste at all with it, because it is more like a martini. So I ended up switching with my dad, and my dad said he liked the drink that I ordered. So if you're a martini fan and you like bourbon, that might be the one for you. And then for my second drink, I wanted to try something different. So I tried the Modern Fashion, which was their take on the old fashioned, with bourbon. Actually had some rum, vanilla bean, and bitters. And I thought this one was great in that the flavors of the vanilla bean with the rum kind of mixed well with the bourbon flavors. It was overall a great drink, and of the 4 drinks that we had here, I would choose this one personally. So the meal started with some bread and olive oil, but a little bit different style. The bread was basically like little baguettes that were very warm and fresh, and the olive oil was very earthy and presented in a deeper bowl. It was kind of like a rock on the table, which was different compared to like your shallow dish or plate that you'd normally see at a Italian restaurant with your olive oil. This was a little bit different style, but it was very good overall. One thing to note with this one is they did not ask us if we wanted more bread. I'm not sure if that means that you're only limited to what they gave you initially, or if getting more or requesting more was an option. but just something to consider. And then as far as our appetizers here, we had homecoming for lunch the same day, and we were still kind of full from that, so we liked to kind of skip over the appetizers and go right to the entrees. So as for our entrees, Mike told us that the pasta was made fresh daily in-house, and highly recommended the rigatoni, so that ended up being what I got. It was a rigatoni with some braised chicken and some dandelion greens and Parmigiano Reggiano, and this dish was great, very flavorful. The sauce that it was in was very creamy and kind of tasted like a stroganoff type of aspect to it, without the mushroom flavor, which I like that. Would highly recommend it. Would definitely get it again. My mom ended up getting the linguine scampi, which was the other pasta option, and this was some linguine with shrimp and tomatoes and garlic and like a lemon butter sauce. And she said the pasta was very fresh and flavorful, and the shrimp was perfectly cooked. As far as the price for these two, the rigatoni was $32 and the linguine was $36, which in my opinion is a little bit overpriced for pasta. And again, that kind of ties into the ambiance of the restaurant overall. You're kind of paying for the views and the atmosphere to be up there versus just the food, in my opinion. But $32, $36 for pasta is on the pricier side, but just something to consider before you go up there, that those are actually the cheaper options for the entrees at this restaurant. And then my dad ended up getting a little bit different option. He ordered the sole miniere, which was the fish option, and Mike said that this was going to be presented as the whole fish with the head on and everything. So my dad asked if they could fillet it for him in the kitchen and bring it out already filleted, and they did honor this, which my dad greatly appreciated. He said the fish was very flavorful and was cooked in like a lemon caper sauce. One thing that he did say though was the portion size was rather large. He ended up taking quite a bit home, but for the price, it kind of made sense with the portion being large, and I would rather a large portion paying that price for it. So this was $50, which for a fish option is also on the pricier side. And overall, while the entrees were very good, I think there are better entree options for the price at other signature restaurants. Like I like Chico, I like California Grill, and I feel like at those places you can get some more diverse options and pay about the same price and have a very unique option. So overall, this restaurant was great. The food was very good. We had no complaints about the flavor, the preparation, or anything like that. Just the price was our kind of big issue there. We didn't try the dessert. We were kind of still full from homecoming for lunch and then had this big dinner, so we did end up skipping dessert. But the service was fantastic and the views were great, which I guess the service and the views kind of make up for the price a little bit. But in general, we just thought that the whole menu was pretty much overpriced for what you got. Out of 10, my parents both gave this restaurant an 8. I give it more of a 7. I feel like I can have a better pasta elsewhere and pay a lot less. And a lot of the other menu options as well, I feel like they could have done a lot more with the menu. Combining French and Italian influences, I feel that the menu has a lot more potential than what was listed. But there you have it. That's our review of Topolino's Terrace. If you agree with us, let us know in the comment section down below. Have you been there before? Let us know that too. And thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week, another episode of Walt Disney World Dining Reviews. See you real soon.